online Googling, YouTubing what it's like to leave California and explore Georgia, especially Augusta, Georgia, then this video is for you. My name's Ariel Wright, and I grew up in Evans, Georgia, but I did live in Monterey, California for about 4 years, and I sold real estate out there, and because of the pandemic, decided I wanted to be closer to family and relocated back to Augusta, Georgia. So I have some first-hand accounts of differences between California and Georgia that I personally experienced, and I'm going to share them with you. So you're probably wondering, is Southern hospitality a thing? And I'm here to tell you it absolutely is. If you're driving through one of the neighborhoods, you'll see people walking and they'll wave at you, and that's going to happen every time you drive into that neighborhood. And if you wave back, that's great. You're going to fit right in. But if you don't wave, they're going to think it's a little rude. I mean, I would. I know that Canadians are known for this, but I feel like we are too here in Georgia. And that's just how it is here. I think people consider other people a little bit more than they might in California. No sense of urgency. It's absolutely a thing here. It's a little more slow paced. So when I came back from California and I was here in Georgia, I felt like things needed to happen a little faster. Like I felt like my blood pressure was a little high, you know? And people around would be like, hey, take it easy. Like, we don't do that here. we take our time. So like if you're at the grocery store, and I mean, people don't really handle cash anymore, but if you did, you could take your time like putting your pennies in your purse, and you're gonna get to know your cashier. Like, I get to know my cashier at the local Kroger because we have time for that here. So if you're tired of the hustle and bustle, you want to lower that blood pressure and take your time getting somewhere, this is definitely the place to do that. Now, this is Augusta, Georgia, not Atlanta. Can't speak for that. I don't even drive there. It's madness there. But here in Augusta, even though it's the second largest city, it's a lot slower pace. You know, even driving around the downtown, you know, you can flip a U-turn there. You can cross the street, you know, and there's not a ton of cars, not a lot of traffic. And again, people are going to be pretty friendly, might strike up a conversation with you. It's just slower pace here. If you're looking for a healthy lifestyle, this might not be the place, but again, remember, we're slower pace if you're looking for that. We enjoy tasty food, salt, and butter. So if you're looking for tasty food, we have that. I will say though, over the last 10 years, I have seen some changes in the area, and it does feel like it's becoming more healthy than it ever has been, and I do feel like that's due to COVID. You know, you can go biking down the rapids. You can join run groups or kickball or soccer or softball groups of all ages. So it is kind of moving in that direction, but when I was out in California, the portion sizes are a little bit different. The food is a little bit different. You know, we do have one restaurant here that does talk about all the places that everything comes from, but that's more of a California thing. That's really not, we just want to know if it's going to taste good. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And now on to the cost of living. Let's talk about the cost of living, because that's a big driver for why a lot of people from California have moved to Georgia. And I will say that in California, when I was selling there, $1 million at that time could get you a 900 square foot house. It's gonna need a lot of updates. It's only 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, but you can walk to the beach. So there's that. But here in Georgia, you can get everything you want for $350, brand new, for you and your 4 kids and your beautiful wife. Like, you can get a McMansion. That's what I like to call it here. When I walked in, I did a tour here when I came back, and I felt so desensitized because of the real estate in California that when I walked in, I was like, you can get a formal dining room, You can get this giant master bathroom with a giant tub, the stall shower, the privacy closet. There was so much. You can get the screened-in porch. You can get the dream. You can get a yard, you know? Versus California, where if you were buying newer construction, it was going to be around $1 million, and you could literally like pass the soap to your neighbor out the window, and you were going to be a part of an HOA that was going to charge maybe like $500 a month. Versus here, you know, I saw some HOAs as low as like $79, and I was like, $79? That's crazy. You can also go out to eat for a lot less too. I remember coming back here and I was like, whoa, you can get all of this food. I can get an appetizer, you know, a meal, maybe another meal. Like I could take a friend out. Anywhere between like 50, 80 bucks versus California, I would definitely be spending a whole lot more. The houses are a little bit different. You know, you're not gonna see a lot of stucco homes here. It's very rare to find that. You're gonna see more like craftsman or historical, the pillars, crown molding. You're gonna get a little bit more detail. And again, it's gonna be a lot newer. It's move-in ready, which is what a lot of people are looking for. Okay, so real estate transactions are a little bit different in California versus Georgia. In California, they are escrow states. The escrow company is the mediator, versus here, we have lawyers who are the mediator. And I think one of the biggest differences is the earnest money deposit, and how the earnest money deposit is very difficult to lose in California versus Georgia, where it's a little bit easier. But I will say that I personally haven't had any clients in California or Georgia lose their earnest money deposit, because we talk about it and make sure that you guys are educated, so don't worry about that. But it is definitely a difference. And also the paperwork. California is so litigious, and Georgia is a little bit more laid back, and it's a lot less stressful on clients in general. So there's a very big difference in weather in California and Georgia. California is going to be dry. There's going to be very little rain, at least what I experienced in Monterey, which is another reason why there were a lot of fires there. It was very dry. And one of the times that I actually saw a thunderstorm there was lightning, and it caused a big fire, which is another thing that's hard on homeowners there. Getting fire insurance is very difficult, if you can get it at all, and if you can get it, it's very expensive. Versus Georgia, in the Augusta area, it's going to have thunderstorms, it's going to rain. You're gonna actually have to get some rain boots and keep an umbrella in your car, or unless you just like being in the rain and getting all wet. But I personally really enjoy thunderstorms. They help me sleep. And also it's very green here, which is another thing that I miss. Like on my drive back to Georgia, I was going down the highway, I was looking at the skies, and the clouds are huge. And I just remember thinking, like, the skies here are bigger, the clouds are huge, and along the way are giant trees. And I remember just thinking, I just miss this. So it's very green. You're not going to have the same threat of fires like you did in California. Another question that I've gotten from clients is, like, do we get affected by hurricanes here? I think we're far enough away that when there are hurricanes along the coast, we just get a lot of rain. So we're not really that affected here. It's just gonna rain. So when you're looking to purchase a home here, just make sure to not be in the flood zone of where you live, because I mean, you can still experience a little bit of flooding here, but you know, it's just not really, we're just not really affected by the hurricane. It's also gonna be super humid. I know I talk about that a lot. I use way more deodorant here in Georgia than California. It's just a thing. Now that we've gone over some differences between California and Georgia, if you have any other questions or know a totally different thing that I didn't say in this video, leave it in the comments so we can get back to you. And if you are relocating to the area and need assistance of a realtor, call me so we can talk opportunities. And I will see you in the next video.